Baik, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Dewi Rahayu Mutiarasari, NIM 230302000011 dari TVI 5A. Di sini saya meneliti dengan judul The Use of Novel to Enhance 11th Grade Senior High School 3 Salatiga Students on Vocabulary Mastery. Jadi problems and resource gap-nya adalah the lower intention of literacy in Indonesia have a big impact on students' ability of vocabulary mastery. Hence, many students at school do not interested in long discourses, especially book. During the observation, the researcher found some of students at the 11th grade students of SMA Negeri 3 Salatiga that had difficulty in vocabulary mastery. And the ability of the students are not the same as the expectation of the curriculum, so the proficiency in language skill is not achieved yet. The researcher believed that the students lacked of vocabulary, but a teacher always gave new vocabulary to them every meeting. However, some students still had some problems in using the vocabulary. Next is participant. This research particularly focused on students' vocabulary mastery by using novel. And the participant of this research is 11th grade senior high school 3 Salatiga, Indonesia, which consists of 68 students that have been agreed to participate. And then problem statements. There are 3 problem statements. The first is what are senior high school students' problem in vocabulary mastery, and then the use of English novel for improving reading comprehension and vocabulary mastery, and then what are the differences between before and after the implementation. And step by step, the first is discussing with the teacher about the novel that will be used, and then the second, schedule the time when the novel is used at class, and then students conduct an exercise of making summary and vocabulary list after reading the novel. And the fourth is students practice the vocabulary they have got by writing narrative text. And then the fifth, teacher students evaluation on students practice. And then the last is students work will be published on Instagram. And then underlying theories. Here, Harmon, Wood, and Kieser state that vocabulary development is directly proportional with language development. It means that the more vocabulary the students acquire, the better language skill they can perform. It is supported by Nation at 2001, who said that having rich vocabulary eases the students to perform skills of listening, reading, speaking, and writing. So in short, he highlighted that good vocabulary mastery helps students to absorb knowledge more from receptive skills such as listening and reading, and perform better in productive skills such as speaking and writing. And literature has an important role in the field of education. Through literature learning, students are expected to be able to obtain the life experiences presented by the author in the literary discourses, because basically literature is the result of life values, contemplation, and then according to Kennedy, literature is important to give in the educational process, because the literary work provides input of the value of life skill for students, and learning objectives should be formulated and determined before the teaching and learning process is implemented. And then Andraswara stated that literary learning, a theory level of education should be oriented so students' appreciation. It is in line with Westwood at 2008 that The aim of the literary learning will be more appropriate when it is directed as fostering the students' appreciation of literature. And then Carbo and Anstrom, Becker, and Rivera formulated that, in general, the objective of literary learning can be um, grouped into two types. The first is long-term objectives to shape the character of students with the following details. Shaping students' character to have a sense of beauty and care of the beauty issues, and then cultivating noble behaviors in students, such as wisdom, politeness, humility, divinity, justice, and caring for other, and then equating the noble values of the nation's culture, and then fostering the reading interest on literature. And the second is short-term objectives or practical purposes, namely as stated in the curriculum according to Nurgiantoro. Method of literature learning can be divided into two types, namely direct methods that serves to support the success of literary learning appreciation, and indirect methods that is about the theory and history of literature. To the above benefits are from Milley's proposed reason for using literature, novel being one major genre in a language classroom, universally and non-trivially personal relevance and variety, interest, economy, and suggestive power and ambiguity. Other advantages are that novels contribute to students' personal growth, improve critical thinking skills, and foster student-centered learning, and give students a different reading experience from textbook. Extensive reading is based on this principle that we learn to read by reading. Appropriate selection of the material for extended reading is an important factor to be considered. Therefore, literary texts or novels are recommended to be used for extensive reading due to four reasons. The first is linguistic development, because novels are ideal instruments to support isolated skills due to their length, a varied content, and to support integration of skills. And then the second is cognitive reasons. Literature or novel develop a critical thinking skill as they are engaged in the literary text, and learners apply their own feelings and ideas regarding them. And the third is motivation, and then the fourth is cultural awareness. So learner can discover the way the character behave and feel and thinks. Those literary works develops understanding of the communication that makes place in that country. And then the methods. Based on the problem, this will employ a descriptive, qualitative research methods. And then for gaining the data, the researcher will use a questionnaire, interview, and documentation. The subject of the research is 68 students in the 11th grade at SMA Negeri 3 Salatiga in the academic year 2021 and 2022. So this is the references from my research, and so yeah, that's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.